What's up, guys? Here we are at CHIMICOmics, and today we are talking about a story that made me want to kill myself.
Okay, apparently Wyatt's taking the intro today. All right,
What, was that it?
so yeah, we're doing zero hour, A Crisis in Time. I forgot to actually lay this out for our CHIMICRISIS event, but yeah, this is definitely in it. It's a crisis, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not enjoy this.
Right there with him.
He didn't like Crisis.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't like this one even more, though.
Okay. At least you said that.
Yeah.
This made me appreciate Crisis even more, if you can believe that.
Well,
It's already my favorite story, but this event just made me go, man, I'm glad we have good events.
you say that, though, but I mean, this event was pretty much the same style as Crisis as far as plot-wise.
It's like it imitates it, but poorly.
Yeah. Instead of
I
an
think-
antimatter universe, it's a plasma energy universe.
Yeah.
Instead of Harbinger, we get Wave Rider. Instead of the anti-monitor, we get the extant. And it just is not cool.
Go ahead and do me a favor, leave a like on this video, comment down below if you read this event, what you think about it. Some people like it, I'm sure. So just know that we didn't read any tie-ins or extra issues. We just read
straight
the
through.
main series.
Yeah.
So there were some gaps and jumps in it, but I think we got most of it.
Yeah, you told me about how in the omnibus there's in other issues where, like at just one point they'll go, I hear something, or I remember someone saying that, and just like, out of nowhere you're just like, what?
Well, do you remember when, like, okay, we're going to get into the story.
Okay.
When Guy Gardner says that he killed somebody, or his
Yeah.
friend died or something,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, I didn't see that. Oh, okay. There's a lot of jumps, and there's weird things like Power Girl is pregnant and gives birth to a child.
That's a mystical child.
Pregnancy.
Yeah, she gave birth. Jesus.
Yeah, I did not get that at all. I don't know why that needed to be in there.
Just because at the end they needed some sort of happy ending. Because, I mean, Green Arrow, spoilers,
Yeah.
was depressed because he killed his best friend. And he was like all
Pretty
down.
much.
They're like, in old Flash, Jay, he's like, was all this just for death? Because Wally, of course, dies. Because it's a DC event. Flash has
it's
to
not
die.
an event unless Flash dies.
Yeah. Like in the first issue, too. Like the first couple pages, dead.
You had a rough go. I mean, do you like Flash? Like, is he one of your favorites, or are you just complaining?
I'm just complaining.
Okay.
Like, he just, why does he have to die and everything? So,
I'm not gonna lie. This death felt cheap.
yeah, like,
Like, at least the Barry death was prolonged over the whole thing. You know,
it wasn't just in
and
the
he
first
was
couple
he
pages.
was part of the plot too.
Yeah.
Like, he was an important part in the story.
Like,
If he
keeps
didn't do what
popping
he
up.
did, they might not have succeeded.
Mhm.
You know.
Like, he warns them.
Yeah, and also he like affected that device, that doomsday device that anti-monitor
Yeah.
had. But Wally, it's just at the beginning. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna slingshot it or whatever." He said.
No, what the guys, Hawk or Wave Rider, two of the time travelers who were like time traveling heroes, they tell him, all right, you're going to run as far away as fast as you can, then you're going to turn back and create a vortex, and then you're going to run away, and then at ultimate speed, jump into it. And he's like, ultimate speed! And he does
How do
it.
I reach ultimate speed? He does it, but nothing.
Yeah.
Did he accomplish anything?
No.
Like, did it actually even close?
No.
Okay, so he just died for no reason.
Yeah,
then.
he ran out of his suit.
Yeah, it was just the suit. That was
Again,
left.
the same
It's
thing
weird.
that happened to Barry.
Pretty much.
Like, the first crisis after Barry dies and Wally becomes New Flash, Wally dies. Straight up at the beginning. Cheap storytelling, in my opinion.
And then right after that, you've got a past version of Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. He does pretty much the same thing. He fires into the void, and
I'm
it sucks
going
him
to
in.
stop
He
it.
dies.
And he dies.
Which, I mean, if by that logic, if he dies there, then how is there a future Green Lantern? You know, Like, how does that happen? If the
me.
past self is killed, then that would mean the other versions of Hal Jordan couldn't exist.
You got me. By all
Right.
means, it doesn't make sense," said Kronk.
I don't know. Some good things about the event was Parallax Hal Jordan.
Yeah, he was wicked cool looking.
Yeah, I love hearing you talk about it
Yeah.
because you've never seen him before.
Yeah, I was reading it. I was reading it a little bit ago because I need to finish it, and this is just the end. And like he shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, so he's evil now?" And he's like, "Yeah." At least he looks wicked cool though.
He's got the Dragon Ball Z shoulder pads,
spiky shoulders. He's
and
freaking ripped.
and the white streaks in his hair.
Yeah.
You remember seeing that?
Yeah, he looked older.
Yeah.
And he's like got this god complex going on.
Mhm.
Like he convinces some of the heroes to fight with him because he's like, "I'm gonna make a new universe. Everyone gets their own world." He's like Oprah. You get a planet. You get a planet. Everybody gets a
I will
planet. It's gonna
say-
be perfect.
The writer's Dan Jurgens, and he does some of the pencil work, and so does Jerry Ordway and others. Jurgens does some pretty good stuff. Like he's most famous for his Superman work. Back in like the 90s. So it was around this time that he was doing that too. I think he wrote Death of Superman. Also, he just finished a run on Action Comics pretty recently. Like he came back to write it again. So he's a good writer, but this story just wasn't that strong.
Yeah, the story. If the story was a person, it would say 95% of the time I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. It gets very complex very fast, and it like I said very complex very fast because it happens like really fast. But also the story is just super fast paced because it's only 4 issues, 155 pages, and it's a crisis event, and it's half the length, more than half the length. I think Crisis on Infinite Earths was near 400 pages. This one is like 155. Well, actually 130.
Well, Crisis was 12 issues.
Yeah.
And some of them were longer, I think. So it was quite a bit shorter than Crisis.
These are long
was.
issues too, since there's only 4 of them. And there's
No, there's 5. There's 0 through 5. I mean, 0 through 4, so that's 5 issues.
Oh yeah.
So I thought that Jurgens did a really good job of getting you to side with the bad guy in the story.
Yeah.
Because like he was making really good points. Like, hey, I can make a reality where all of you exist happily. Like, you don't have Barbara Gordon who's paralyzed in a wheelchair. You have Barbara Gordon who's Batgirl.
Yeah.
You know.
And the Justice Society will give you a planet where you won't age. You'll all be young forever, able to fight crime.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
too.
because when they fought Extant, the JSA, he pretty much just Dr. Fate, he just shredded pretty much, and then the rest of them, he just made them really old. Wildcat had a heart attack. That's how old he was. Like he aged into a heart attack. That's old.
He aged into a heart attack.
Yeah.
Watch out!
Watch out! I have my heart attack fist.
He's always had a problem with that in comics, though.
Being old.
I say always. It might have been after this, but I remember seeing him in like TV shows with like Batman and the Outsiders type stuff, and he would show up and he's like, "Oh, you know."
Didn't I guess this is a non sequitur, but didn't in Young Justice they just brought in the Outsiders for this 3rd season? Like Batman left the Justice League and went to the Outsiders.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I'm not keeping up with it.
Okay.
You're talking about
The new
Young
season.
Justice?
Yeah, the new season.
Yeah, I'm not
You should.
up to date on it.
You should.
Are you watching it?
No, I just keep up to date on
What you mean? You just like read the news about what's coming out?
it. Yeah.
Why don't you just get the streaming
I'm a
service?
strange individual. Because I'm poor.
It's not much.
I know.
Like it's pretty cheap.
Yeah. Gotta get to school, man.
You got a job?
I need one.
Oh.
Anyone
no.
hiring out there?
Please.
I have to wear our own merchandise. I have to send this out tomorrow.
Someone bought this today.
Someone
I have to
bought
ship
this.
it tomorrow.
I have to wash it by hand because I can't afford washing
With a
machine.
washboard.
Yeah. I have to go down to the creek. You know how cold it is out there? It's frozen. The creek is frozen.
I have to bash it with a hammer just to get to the water.
I have to saw like I'm fishing, and then I do fish because that's what I eat.
Oh my god.
That's how I survive.
Sorry.
Ice fishing.
Let's get back
We're
to
in
the
Alaska.
Okay.
We're not in Alaska.
We need to explain Extant and who he is. So he starts out as a guy called Monarch.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Venture Brothers. It is I, the mighty monarch.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I love that shit.
Anyway, do you know about Hawk and Dove, right?
Yeah.
The characters?
Yeah.
Not at all. They used to be two guys, Hawk and Dove. And then, actually, I think this happened in Crisis when it was Hawk and a woman Dove.
Mm-hmm.
And so they
sex change before 2019, everybody.
It's not like that. They do an okay job of explaining that Hawk. Okay, so he saw a future where Monarch kills Dove, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Hawk kills Monarch to stop that from happening, but becomes Monarch anyway.
Yeah, I did not get this at all when I read it.
It was confusing. So Hawk is
here.
Monarch, a bad guy, and he's got this cool like
gun
thing that's attached to his armor. Yeah. It was super 90s. I really liked it.
I prefer the Monarch design to the Extant design.
We see Monarch later in comics, like after this, so he does make a comeback. Yeah, Extant was stupid. But then you got, so he turns into Extant. He thinks it's cooler for some reason.
It wasn't.
Really, he does that because he's
making a statement. Like he's the new guy in the time control.
That and he got like technology to where he could better navigate time. Like the armor he had before in the gun thing was kind of crude.
Yeah, like that's what Wave Rider and Hawk say.
Mm-hmm.
They're like he wasn't smart enough to be able to develop time travel.
And now he has that because he captured them.
Mm-hmm. And he steals one of their armbands or something.
Yeah. He got the wristband. That's how it happened. And then he's like, well, look at me. I'm Extant.
He pretty much goes, I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Like he goes to the god of time and whoops his ass. And I love what he says. This is one positive. He's like, all you god-type characters, all you do is say impossible and act all authority when you're getting your butts kicked. He's absolutely right. Every time a god character shows up in a comic, they're just like, impossible. And
this isn't possible. How are you beating me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I feel you there.
I love how at the very beginning, what's his name? The guy in the chair.
Oh, Metron.
Yeah, he shows up at Darkseid's place. He's like, Darkseid, time is being eaten. And Darkseid's like, I would notice if it was.
Fool.
You fool.
I would know this.
Get out of here.
I love Darkseid.
Yeah, I love him too. Favorite DC villain.
I wish he was more involved in these events. He will be later.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of Crisis on Infinite Earths. How he just shows up and fixes the problem at the very end, like without like any effort.
Didn't he help out the Legion?
Yeah,
I think he did.
That's what happened. He's like, all right, begrudgingly, I will help you.
But know that next time we meet,
I will destroy
you. Yeah. But yeah, back to the not so good story.
Yeah, not so good story.
See,
okay,
I think you like it better.
I like Infinite Crisis better now that I've read this.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah,
we'll get there, though.
We'll get there.
That's our next Crisis.
Yeah, another event. Yay.
You have a lot less to read than I do. I've got the 1,500 pager.
Good luck, buddy.
It'll be fun. I bought it for a reason. So he becomes extant, and then this story, it's not only not that good, but it's also very confusing because of all the different time jumps. Like,
I made a drinking game out of it. Every time they say time stream, or what was the one you said? Crisis. Take a drink. You'll die of alcohol poisoning.
Did you actually count how many? Like, that would have been funny.
Yeah, sorry, next time.
Oh well, that won't be a next time. I'm not doing this again.
Well, I mean, another bad book that, or not a bad book, any book that just says something over and over and over. But that almost makes it inherently bad.
Honestly, like, before we did this, I was planning on getting the omnibuses coming out, and I was like, man, I'm glad I held off because they just announced an omnibus. And I'm like, that'll be really cool to have another omnibus for another event. No.
Yeah, he thought that.
No.
I tried.
I'm gonna see what issues are in it, but I really doubt I'm buying that.
I'm gonna be honest. I texted him. I was on page 100. I was like, "Hey, you already finished. Can you give me the Cliff Notes version?"
And I said no.
Yeah, you must suffer if I had to suffer, and suffer I did.
We read stories around here, not Cliff Notes.
Well, I mean, if you want to get technical,
Good or
about it,
bad.
and when we did the Stan Lee episode, you only read some, and I only read.
You're
some.
right, but we had a good overlap with some of them.
Yeah.
And like what you read, I didn't read, and what I read,
Exactly,
you didn't
that's
read.
what I'm saying.
So it worked out.
It would have worked out though. I could have talked about the first 100 pages and then the last 55. Well, I actually couldn't because I did some about a lot of it went over my.
Just.
Woo.
I'm gonna be honest. I enjoyed the first issue a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, this isn't too bad. You know, people.
What were you wrong?
What people were saying, you know, maybe it wasn't true. Maybe I'll enjoy this anyway. No.
Yeah. That second issue just flies in like a brick to the face.
Anyway, back to Extant. So there's this guy called Wave Rider that we see at the beginning.
He's basically this Crisis's version of Harbinger.
Harbinger, yeah.
Except
He's
not as
like
pretty.
that. But we don't really know much about Wave Rider unless you've read Armageddon 2000, which is where these characters came about.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I wikied that. I haven't actually read that.
Okay.
It's like an Elseworlds thing. You don't need it.
Okay. I did.
But that's where these characters come from. So it's like him and Wave Rider are like enemies for some reason, and later on in the story, he like absorbs Wave Rider's energy and becomes him kind of, because he pulls off the mask and it's Wave Rider, and you're like, okay.
It's different. Like the face is different. It's just he's an energy formed being.
Yeah.
Like Wave Rider. He gets all his powers, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
he doesn't just become.
He's not literally him,
Yeah.
but he's like, he looks like him, so it
Yeah.
throws you.
Because Wave Rider is this man made of like golden energy,
But
and Extant becomes a man.
I thought
made
this
of
was
golden
kind of
energy.
creative, where you've got Wave Rider trying to stop this from happening, and then he's like Extant will be dealing with a different version of Wave Rider, and he doesn't know. And like at one point, Extant pulls the mask off, and it's Wave Rider, but at another point, he hasn't done that.
Yeah, he
yet.
hadn't done that yet.
And then he actually does it.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that part. And then when he does that, Wave Rider dies, like he's gone. But then toward the end of the story, they make a new one. So at the end of the story, there's like these two, what do they call them? They're not Time Lords, but they're something else. I don't know what they're called. But they're at this place called the Vanishing Point, which is outside space and time, of course. How convenient for the riders to have a place where they can gather
Plot
outside
device.
of this crisis. But anyway, there's this man there called Matthew Ryder. Okay, wow. I wonder where this is going.
Wave Rider.
And they're like, yeah, let's shoot him up with this energy and send him out there.
Why did you say like he's doing drugs?
I mean,
yeah, shoot him up, boy.
Well, how would you
Shoot him
explain
up.
it?
Okay, so they pretty much go to the end of the universe, like you said, and there's a rider with them, and they need a Wave Rider, so they, like you said, shoot him up with mystical energy,
Yeah, see?
and they become Wave Rider again.
Yeah, so he's Wave Rider, but like, so it's cool because like these things happen out of order, and you're like, well, I wonder if he knows that this is when he comes about and stuff, and it's like, the Wave Rider that we saw at the beginning of the story, he didn't come about till the end of the story.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought it was cool. Like, I like that part of it. It's confusing if you don't keep up with it, but it's
like me.
It's not too bad. What was confusing to me was, well, they kind of threw me. I thought Extant was the guy that started the whole thing with that big ball.
Yeah.
At the beginning, the big blue ball in the sky. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, there's a mysterious figure. They don't actually show who it is, but he's the one that actually starts this whole crisis.
Yeah.
And time unraveling from both ends, from the beginning and the end. That was something they emphasized a lot, was that it starts from beginning and end, and it moves to, of course, it converges at the 20th century, because why not? But
it's convenient.
Yeah, really convenient there. Even though that's not the middle.
No.
It's not. But they don't actually show who it is, and for a while I thought it was Extant.
Yeah. That's what you
I completely forgot that Hal Jordan Parallax was even in this book. I knew that from like people talking about it. I've never actually read it, but yeah, it turns out he was the one that started this whole thing, and he just wants to remake the whole universe, like all of existence.
He wants to make. He has this god complex. He wants to make a perfect universe for everyone, pretty much.
Yeah.
But to do it, he's going to sacrifice an infinite number of lives. So, as you can probably guess, the other heroes are like, nah, fam.
No, like he explained it, that his way, there would be more lives saved, but he's having to kill all these people to do it. Like, in the long run, his way is better, but he has to actually kill people to accomplish that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like his
Just
way...
a fair bit of genocide, dude. It's okay.
It's not like...
It's gonna be better, dude.
It's not like his way is saving people, it's like creating new people.
You know, if history serves, didn't Hitler say it was gonna be better when he started killing people?
Okay, we're not going to compare every supervillain to Hitler, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. That is not what this channel is about.
Tune in to the new channel, Chimmy History,
Oh
where I
my
talk
gosh.
about history.
You're Hitler! You're Hitler!
If anyone dislikes the video, you're Hitler.
You're Hitler! No.
Do the ghost stat.
But yeah, so the big bad is Hal Jordan, which I thought he was written pretty well.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't think he was that bad of a villain, honestly.
Now we know what you do in Nazi
No,
Germany.
no.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like, he made solid points.
Yeah.
Even, like, some of the characters agreed with it.
Yeah,
like,
Batgirl.
The Batgirl's like, well, man, I wouldn't even exist if I don't follow him.
I want to live.
Yeah, I want to live.
I don't want to die. I want to live.
Now, they did a callback, another callback,
Yeah.
to Crisis, where, so you know how in Crisis it started out with a multiverse, and they brought it back down to a universe, right?
Mhm.
So now, at this point in comics, there's just one universe that everybody's in. There's not a multiverse. But one of the characters, I don't remember if it was Hal Jordan Parallax or Extant. I think it was Extant, because I think this is his motivation, was to bring back the multiverse. Or actually, it could have been Hal Jordan, because he talked about giving the... Yeah, it was him, because he talked about giving the Justice Society their own Earth.
Yeah.
Like it was before.
Mhm.
So, I thought that was cool. I thought that part was cool, but honestly, this whole event
it would have
feels
been
like,
cool, but I'm pretty sure if he did that, a byproduct would have been the Monitor's return, and then that whole thing happens again, and we get infinite crisis on infinite Earths.
No, he just wanted to create one more. He just one more universe. Not an infinite number. But who knows? Maybe if you mess with it, it just boom!
Anti-Monitor. He's back.
Maybe if you break the seal, just an infinite number of universes come out. Who knows? But honestly, this whole event just felt like a cheap cash grab. I think they were just cashing in on that it was almost Crisis' 10th anniversary at this point. It was technically 9 years after, but we'll call it the 10th anniversary cash grab.
Yeah.
So there were good parts to it, but overall, I can't really recommend this book.
I can't either.
And that's not something I often do.
This guy is the guy who loves things that everyone else hates. Like, that's his thing. And here he is telling you not to get this thing. And lots of people
I can't
hate
recommend it.
He can't. We finally
Honestly.
broken him.
Now, after this, if you read the very back of the book, they
have a timeline.
No, not the timeline.
Not the timeline.
They talk about how they released a bunch of zero issues for all the different series that were coming out. Like Batman had a number 0, Superman, all those guys. I have the Robin issue. I think I've read that. But it's like they'll go over their origins and all of that stuff, and then how they fit into this new universe, I guess. So, I mean, maybe pick and choose what characters you care about and read those. You could find them really cheap in a 99-cent box, probably. So
We go to Ollie's. Yeah.
You won't find that at all.
You won't.
I honestly did find that zero issue in a 99-cent box for Robin. The one I read, I found that in there. So
Yeah.
if you're really interested, then by all means. But like, I don't feel like this had any lasting impact on the universe. I mean,
What
people
happened?
died.
What happened to Power Girl's kid? Well, what?
No
I've
idea.
never heard of it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I'm kind of curious.
The mystical baby.
Mystical baby. Super baby.
Who was the father? I guess if it was a mystical baby, there wasn't one.
I guess not.
Maybe Palpatine did it. That's what. Yeah, in Star Wars, they came out with saying Palpatine used the Force to
No.
get Shimmy pregnant. I'm not lying.
No.
It was all Palpatine from the start.
Shmee!
It was a really creepy picture too. Like she's just standing out in the desert, and he's like a mystical version, like lightning comes from his fingertips. It's really creepy. Palpatine did Anakin's conception. Confirmed.
I am interested in looking to see what's in that omnibus. If they're just doing all the zero issues, or if there's actually tie-ins. I mean, I'm sure there are tie-ins, because there's gaps in the story. Yeah, I was really looking forward to the omnibus before I actually read the story.
Yep.
So,
Save your money.
yeah.
Don't buy it.
I will be.
Yeah. Well, is that all?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Let's not make this a longer one.
If you read the story and you really like it, please comment down below and tell me why, because I'm curious, and if you can convince me, like if you can explain something that I didn't get, or just something I should appreciate and didn't, please let me know.
And
'Cause I'm open-minded to that 100%.
Yeah, we're not asking you to do it insultingly or anything. We're not attacking what you like. Well, I mean,
No,
we kind
no.
of are, but I mean,
I'm not attacking it.
we're not attacking your
there was a lot of good
opinions.
things
There
in
were
it.
good things, but it's just our opinion. So just like list out why you like it if you do. Look here below, and maybe we'll get back to you.
Yeah, the good news is it wasn't that long. It read pretty quick. I mean, fairly quick. I've read worse things at slower paces, so it's not the worst book I've ever read. I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I think I'm comfortable with giving it that.
My grading scale is different than his. His is like a school grading scale where anything above a 50, a 5 in this case, is passing. Not me. Since I did not like this book, and since my scale is a true 1 to 10 scale, it's getting a 3.
Good gosh.
It's a different scale. 3.2.
See, anything below a 5 for me is just dumpster fire. You
Yeah.
know, which I don't think this is that.
Well, it's a different scale.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
3.2
real scary.
though. It's kind of low.
It's
kinda
below
low.
average.
It's kind of low.
5 is average. Below average, 3.2. The 0.2 is just
Whatever.
to be specific.
Whatever.
It doesn't even matter. It could be a 3.
Anyway, I
Just being
honestly
generous.
might not even like buy a copy of this book. We rented it.
Yeah. Hoopla!
Hoopla. Yeah. If you got a library card,
Hoopla.
check out Hoopla. You can
Pretty Gucci.
borrow some books. I think it's like $5 a month for us.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have Dan Abnett's Gaunt's Ghost series.
His what?
Gaunt's Ghost, it's the Warhammer.
Oh.
It's,
Oh,
novel
yeah, he
series,
did write
Black
some of
Library.
that.
Yeah. 14 books of it. And then a bunch of spin-offs. He's got like 20 books in Black Library, dude. He does a lot for Warhammer.
I don't remember if he's still writing Aquaman right now. He may not be. I don't know.
He does a lot for Black Library. I know
He's a
that.
good writer.
He really is. One of my
pretty good.
favorite novel series.
Mhm.
And I started like on the 3rd omnibus because I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And I still like loved it.
That's good.
Yeah. Gaunt's Ghost. Look it up.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you haven't read this, I hope we saved you some trouble from reading it. Because I honestly I can't recommend it. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think there's enough lasting change. Wally died, which I'm sure they'll fix in like a year or two after this, but who knows?
Flash always dying.
Yeah, I don't know when Wally came back. So I do know that Barry doesn't come back for a while, so that was a lasting change. But did Kyle Rayner die?
Is that the one in the white and red suit?
No, it's the other Green Lantern.
No.
When he was holding Hal Jordan from the back, and then Green Arrow shot him in the chest.
No, I
with that
don't
arrow.
think he died.
Okay. Well, something happened to him.
He may have.
Batgirl vanished. I thought that was when they brought back Batgirl, but I guess not. Alright. Well, our next video will be... Actually, technically our next video will be...
Identity Crisis?
Yeah, it will be. It'll be Identity Crisis.
Not an actual
Not technically a crisis, but I'm including it because it's the next big thing in DC history, and it's definitely worth reading. So, if you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it and join us for our review.
Yep.
We're going to be doing something new this week. I think it'll come out next week. We're going to call it Comic Cast, and we're just going to sit here with our buddy Tanner, and he's going to we're just going to talk about like what we're reading, what we're watching, what's coming out, what we're going to pick up, stuff like that. So
Just gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna be the obscure one because I usually don't just read comics on my own time.
he's nerdy. He's
Yeah.
just not superhero nerdy.
Yeah.
So,
obscure nerd.
but we're going to get him there.
I'm branching out our audience.
No, feel free.
Yeah.
If you want to do a segment, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after Identity Crisis, we're obviously going to be covering Infinite Crisis, which I think we'll both enjoy a lot more. I haven't ever read it, but I'm excited to crack into that huge omnibus.
Good luck.
Then after that will be Final Crisis. I think that'll round it out for us.
Yeah.
That'll be in the CHIMICRISIS. But this is the second chapter of the CHIMICRISIS. It wasn't as good as the first, but I'm pretty sure the third one will be much better. So we'll see y'all in the next one.
Later.